Johnnie Guilbert, Hollywood, guitar tabs and guitar lesson. Okay, so I'll give you a couple different methods for this one. In the music video, it looks like he's using a capo at the 2nd fret. So I'll give you that option if you want to give that a whirl. But if you're not into the capo and don't really mind, I'll give you the no capo option, which to me, just listening to it, it kind of sounds like he goes to some stuff that's not capoed, but so it's hard to know if like the video capoed thing really happened in the recording or not. But at any rate, I'll give you 2 different methods so you can choose for yourself. The first one, we'll just go no capo here. And this intro and verse riff, it's more or less the same deal, capo or no capo. It's just maybe one note that we don't really mess with, and I'd say with the capo, you have a lot better chance of hitting some accidental notes that sound good with what you're doing. So that's maybe a reason for that. But for this here, we're just initially starting with this B major 7 without the 3rd, so it's just kind of like 3 strings here. So we just kind of hit like the B power chord at the 2A, 4 on the D. All right, and then we'll want to hit that B bass note again at the 2. And then we want this 3 on the G. And then we just come back up, hit the 4D, and then the 2B, or sorry, the 2 on the A for the B. And we essentially repeat that 3G, 4D, 2B. Repeat that like 3 times. Okay, so it'd be like... And then the next spot we go to is this G sharp minor vibe. It's like a minor 7 thing going on here, but a lot of the similar notes, essentially we just want to keep this 4 on the D, and we just shift the bass note. So I like to just come over like this, where like I'll bring the middle finger up to the 4 on the E for that G sharp, and then we're going to want pinky on the 4G under it. And this no capo version, we're just going to kind of mute the A. Okay, so we don't want anything going on there, so we just want... Okay, and it's kind of the same picking style that we just used. Alright, so we just basically hit like, say, the 4E and that 4D initially. Alright, and then we'll hit the 4 on the E again. Alright, and then we do that kind of same walk up from like the G to D and now to the E string. So we'll initially start at this, where we'll have the 4G, 4D, 4E. Alright, and we do it twice. Alright, and then we come off to that 3G that we had. So we'll take the pinky, lift off, and have the index on the 3 behind it. Just walk that up, 3G, 4D, 4E. Alright, so it'd be... Alright, and here, the chorus section, this is kind of where it sounds like there's no capo going on, because he gets to this low E chord, alright, and it's just a basic open E, alright, because you definitely hear that open low E. Alright, so he may very well be doing like a drop D that's capoed at the 2, but that gets a little more complex and you'd have to adjust up here a little bit for that G sharp note, but we're not going to mess with that. So open E now, just basic chord. Open E, 2A, 2D, 1G, open B and E. And the strum on it, it's kind of like you hit like a 1, 2, and then a quick like down, up, closer together just before the chord's out. So it'd be like something like that. And that's kind of what we're doing for each chord. We start there, and then we move up to the F sharp, so just bar the 2s, 4 on the A and D with the 3G. Same thing. Alright, and then we're going to zoom up to this E flat minor. And I just kind of keep everything barred and just come up to the 6s. You'll end up with like the E flat with an A sharp on top, which is cool. It just kind of makes it a little bigger sounding. And So we'll have the 6 on the A and D, the 8 on the D and G with the 7 B, alright, and then the 6 on the high E, and it's that same strum. Alright, and then just right back down to the open E. Alright, and those 4 chords just cycle through the chorus. Alright, so that's essentially what's happening with the no capo version. If you want to do the capo, just do it on the second here. And like I said, the initial riff, you can just pretty much keep everything just as we did, but you can be a little more lax with like hitting like an open B or E string. It'll sound fine with it. So a little bit easier to like mess up on this version, I guess. And there's only one slight difference. Like, you know, we go through our initial B major 7 thing. See, I just hit an open or an unfretted B string there, and it sounded fine. Don't necessarily want to do that, but if you do, it sounds cool. Like the chord sounds fine, it's no big deal. So a little more forgiving here with the capo. And here's kind of like the only thing that really intentionally shifts, like when we move over to our G sharp here at the 4 with the 4 on the D and G2, it'd be like this. And here we can, instead of muting that A string, we could just leave it, you know, open so that it's getting fretted here. Okay, sounds fine. So that's kind of like the only subtle difference that you can gain here by using the capo, aside from like more forgiving accidental notes. So it all sounds good, right? Alright, and we just do the same thing, you know, picking through the 4s, release off to the 3 on the G. Okay, so capo will definitely help you if you're not as like precise with the picking and hit some accidental strings and all that jazz. But here's kind of where like the compromise is in the chorus. You can't quite get to that low E unless you're, you know, super quick and just pull the capo off or something. So it's up to you, but you get the same chords, but they're just kind of a different voicing now. Like that E will have to do as a D shape basically, you know. So we got like the G string with the 4 and the E with the 4 and then a 5 here, and then we're just hitting the barred 2s on the A and D. You can compound it a little bit. See, kind of a different vibe. You don't quite get that low E. Same strum and all that, but from there, and then you could just go to the F sharp by just making an E chord shape here. And then that same E flat, you can just do the exact same thing that you did otherwise. It just kind of looks, compared to this, like a C sharp, or sorry, like a C sharp, because we're just, you know, 4 frets up. And then just back to your D shape for the E. Okay, so up to you. A couple different methods there. Hope you find one that works, and have fun.